get physical with these receivers, a lot of big receivers. And I guess the only knocks that I really saw, and maybe why he slipped so far, is his 2020 season was not outstanding. Like his first two seasons were great, and we just didn't see the same play out of him in that 2020 season. But I don't know. It's hard to say because 2020 was absolutely
You're everybody.
yeah. And so for me, I think this is our pick at fourth at 132, and I think we will be extremely happy with this corner.
Nothing to argue with that, dude. On my end, you've been talking about him for damn near 2 months now. So obviously, I've checked out his tape. I like what I see. I've also, you know what I mean, seen him in a lot of, when I'm watching Joe Horn. Yeah, no, it's a solid pick. That's really all I want to say about it, just because we're talking about later round guys, and we don't want to stay on that forever. With our 132 pick, I have us addressing not, in your opinion, it's not the biggest need. In my opinion, it is, just because I went interior defensive line. Because right now you could look at our defensive tackle position and say, yeah, we're pretty set. You know what I mean? We got guys, we have a good rotation and all that stuff. Where I see a red flag, though, is we have three guys on that D line whose contracts are up at the end of the year. I'm going to be going with pick 132 for Bobby Brown III, defensive tackle from Texas A&M. There's not a lot to say. It's just I like this dude's explosiveness. He's got great size for his position. He's young, doesn't turn 21 until August. He'd be on the cheap. We're not going to be able to re-sign. I don't expect to keep all three of these guys going into the next year. And I think this guy could be a good fit, and he could get in the rotation. And you know what I mean? He's got enough talent and enough veteran leadership to where he could potentially blossom this in his rookie year.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken the words out of my mouth. I feel like the defensive tackle position is not something we necessarily need to address this year. I understand you taking that D tackle because I think that he's going to be. I think he could be a quality starter. I did a little bit of work on defensive tackles, even though I don't have us taking one in days two or day 1 and 2. But at the same time, like I get what you're saying about expiring contracts. I think we try to re-sign Richardson. If his play doesn't fall off, I do see us moving on from Malik Jackson. I think Jordan Elliott is somebody who has a lot of
expectations for Jordan Elliott this year.
I mean, I expect him to have a pretty big role. I wouldn't say he's starting. I think we'll start Richardson and Jackson, but I think Jackson will be coming out a lot. I think Richardson will be coming out a lot. And so, no, I think what I've seen from Jordan Elliott is he's disruptive. I expect him, I don't know. I think an upside would be 4 sacks. I think maybe 10 tackles for a loss. I would love to see those numbers out of him. I think that gets him a starting role in 2022. I really do. And I think that's the trajectory that Andrew Berry sees for Jordan Elliott as well. And I don't think Jordan Elliott's shown us anything that he's not going to be that type of player.
He didn't get enough play time to have a real strong opinion on him one way or another. But I have expectations for him this year.
I do too. And I didn't last year.
Yeah. All right. So moving on now, your fifth round pick.
Yeah. I think that this pick came from our discussions about receiver. And so I'm picking Nico Collins, 6'4", 215. I believe he played at Michigan. I just saw a really big, strong possession receiver with reliable hands. He plays big boy football. He gets physical with these receivers. I'd say he catches the ball with his hands. He gets vertical to come away with those receptions. Like looking at tape on Nico Collins, I saw a bigger, stronger Rashard Higgins. I really did. And I'd say the one knock on both Higgins and Nico Collins is they just don't get that separation from the defender. And so it's not like Nico Collins relies on his speed in order to get vertical. But I think he has learned how to use his hands to get to those balls. And I know that Baker Mayfield is the type of quarterback that likes a guy like Nico Collins. Like it almost is like Baker thrives when he throws those 50-50 balls, right? And so I went with Nico Collins.
Plays, he likes 50-50. That's where he's at his best.
Yeah, but again, like the reasons why Nico's going to fall to the 5th round is he's just not very quick. He doesn't have that deep burst. He ran incredibly well during his pro day, but we just don't see evidence of that in his tape. Now, he did opt out last season, but he was so productive in his other seasons that I feel like this is going to be a great pick, and I think he has a lot of room to grow. And I just don't see us taking a receiver high in this draft because they're just not going to get on the field that often. A lot of this, if we think Nico's going to be productive in the NFL, he's going to have to build that foundation on either the practice squad or during practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
How about you?
I have nothing more to add, really. I'll be honest, didn't study him at all. Because I wouldn't be shocked now if we went receiver early, just because, you know, the draft is never going to go the way you want. And especially, at least in my experience of being a Browns fan, there is, like, if we get one guy that I really watched a lot on, I'm shocked. A lot of times I'm watching the draft and I'm like, oh shit. And I have to freaking go on Google, go on my freaking draft board. But like, no, what you said works for me. With my 5th round pick, I love this pick. Let me just say, I fucking love this pick. Pick 159. I'm taking a gentleman by the name of Divine Deablo, safety from Virginia Tech. He's projected right now to be a 5th round pick, and I have no fucking idea why.